Be me, 25-year-old feminist dating boyfriend for a year and a half now. Relationship is pretty good. He's thoughtful and plans nice dates regularly. Takes me to restaurants, concerts, movies, tries to make things special always. Always making reservations, planning activities, surprising me with fun things. Friends are jealous of how much effort he puts into our relationship. Start reading more about how traditional dating reinforces gender roles, though. Learn that date nights are actually heteronormative performance of patriarchy. Men plan dates to assert dominance, and women accept to perform femininity. Realize my boyfriend's date planning is actually problematic behavior pattern. Decide I need to educate him about this issue immediately. He plans nice dinner reservation at restaurant. I mention wanting to try. Tells me excitedly about reservation he got for Saturday night this weekend. Immediately launch into explanation about how date nights are heteronormative. Tell him that formal dates reinforce traditional gender roles and expectations. Explain that him planning and me accepting recreates patriarchal power dynamics. Say that we should just hang out naturally without performative date structure. He looks confused and says he just wanted to take me somewhere nice. Tell him the desire to take me somewhere is rooted in male provider role. Say we can go to restaurant without calling it date or making it special. He says, okay, we can just go casually if that's what you want then. Feel satisfied that I educated him about problematic dating culture issues. Don't notice the disappointment in his eyes when he cancels the reservation. Next week, he mentions maybe going to see a movie that's coming out soon. Ask him if he's trying to plan another heteronormative date night with me. He says no, just thought we could see movie together, that's all. Tell him movie dates are classic patriarchal courtship ritual we should avoid. Explain that sitting in dark theater is designed to facilitate male advances. Say we can watch movies at home without the performative date aspect. He says sure we can stay in and watch something on Netflix instead. Cancel movie plans and spend evening on couch scrolling phones separately. Realize this isn't exactly what I wanted, but it's less heteronormative. He doesn't suggest going out again, just accept staying home as new normal. Tell myself, this is what equality looks like in modern relationships. Month passes and we haven't been on actual dates since I explained the issues. Mostly just hang out at apartment eating takeout and watching TV together. He doesn't plan anything special anymore, no reservations or surprises or activities. Tell myself, this is better because we're not performing gender roles anymore, but feel weird that our relationship has become so routine and boring. Notice he doesn't put effort into our time together like he used to before. Just comes over and we exist in same space without doing anything meaningful. Ask him if he wants to do something this weekend, and he shrugs, says whatever. Tell him he seems disengaged and he says, I thought you didn't want planned dates. Realize I've trained him to stop trying to make our time together special, but can't admit that because it would mean admitting I was wrong. Remember how he used to surprise me with tickets to shows I wanted to see, would research what I liked and plan whole evenings around my interests, used to get excited when he told me to dress nice, we had plans. Now I just wear sweatpants because we're not going anywhere anyway. He used to look at me with excitement when we had date planned. Now he barely looks up from his phone when I come over to hang out. Our conversations have become shallow, just talking about work and nothing deep. Used to have long talks about life and dreams and ideas over dinner. Now we just sit in silence eating pizza and staring at separate screens. Feel like I'm losing connection with him, but tell myself, this is better. Friend posts about amazing date her boyfriend planned for their anniversary surprise, elaborate scavenger hunt, leading to romantic dinner he spent weeks planning. All our friends commenting how lucky she is to have boyfriend who tries. Feel jealous looking at her photos, but can't admit it to anyone. Comment on post about how date nights are heteronormative performance, pointing out issues. She responds with confused emoji and says she just enjoyed the effort. Other friends like her response and ignore my comment about patriarchy. Boyfriend sees post and my comment doesn't say anything about it. Notice him looking at me strangely, like he's figuring something out. Realize he knows I'm jealous, but won't admit it after my speeches. He screenshots the post and her response, but doesn't show me. Find it later in his phone when he asks me to check something. Try to plan casual hangout myself to show I can put in effort too. Suggest we go to farmer's market on Saturday morning, just casually. He says, Sure, whatever you want, with zero enthusiasm in his voice. We go to farmer's market and walk around in silence, barely talking. He's on his phone most of the time, not engaged or interested in anything. Nothing feels special or romantic, just feels like running errands together. Realize when I plan things, they're casual hangouts, not special dates. When he planned things, they felt romantic and made me feel valued. But I told him that feeling was just patriarchal conditioning to reject. Now, neither of us plans anything, and our relationship is boring as hell. Spend whole morning at market and barely say 20 words to each other. Drive home in silence and he drops me off without coming inside. Our anniversary of dating comes up and he doesn't mention it at all. Wait all day for him to acknowledge it, but he acts like normal day. Finally, bring it up at night, ask if he remembers what today is. He says, "Oh yeah, our anniversary," and goes back to watching TV show. Ask if he wants to do something special, and he says, "You don't believe in that." Reminds me, I said anniversaries are heteronormative milestones we shouldn't celebrate. Tells me he's just respecting my boundaries about performative relationship rituals. Feel hurt that he didn't plan anything, but I literally told him not to. Sit there realizing I spent our anniversary on couch eating leftover pizza. Watch social media seeing other couples celebrating with fancy dinners and gifts. Tell myself they're all just performing heteronormativity. But I feel sad. Boyfriend doesn't even get me a card or flowers or acknowledge the day. Remember last year he planned a whole weekend trip to surprise me. Feel tears coming, but can't cry because I told him not to do this stuff. Notice boyfriend has stopped doing little romantic gestures he used to do. No more surprise flowers or leaving sweet notes or planning weekend trips. No more dressing up nice for me or trying to impress me with anything. Just shows up in sweatpants and hoodie and sits on couch with phone. Ask him why he doesn't put effort in anymore, and he looks at me blankly. Says, "You told me that stuff was performative patriarchy." So I stopped, reminds me I said romantic gestures reinforce traditional gender dynamics. Tells me he's trying to be better feminist by not doing heteronormative things. Realize he's right. I did say that, but I miss the gestures anyway. Can't tell him that. Without admitting I was wrong about everything though. Remember how he used to bring me coffee in the morning when staying over, or how he'd pick up my favorite snacks when shopping for himself. Now he doesn't do any of those little things that made me feel thought about. Tells me those things were part of male provider performance I rejected. Friend group plans, couples dinner at nice restaurant, everyone getting dressed up. Boyfriend asks what I want to wear, and I say just casual clothes. He shrugs and shows up in jeans and t-shirt, while other guys wore nice shirts. All the other couples clearly made effort to look nice for each other. We're the only ones who look like we just rolled out of bed. Other girls compliment each other's outfits and notice I didn't try at all. One friend asks if everything okay, and I say yes. We just don't perform. She looks confused and changes subject, but I see the pity in her eyes. Watch other couples being affectionate and engaged while we sit in silence. Boyfriend on his phone, barely participating in conversation all night long. Other guys are attentive to their girlfriends, asking questions, being present. My boyfriend treats this like obligation. He has to get through, then leave. We leave early and drive home in silence. Neither of us enjoyed evening. He doesn't even walk me to my door, just drops me off and drives away. 3 months of this new dynamic in our relationship feels completely dead. We're roommates who happen to be dating, not couple in love anymore. No romance, no effort, no special moments, just existing together, boringly. Watch him interact with his phone more than he interacts with me. Our intimate life has decreased too because there's no buildup or romance. Just occasional perfunctory physical contact with no passion or connection behind it. Feel like I'm losing him, but I created this situation myself completely. Told him date nights were problematic and he stopped making things special. Now we have nothing to look forward to and no memories being made. Just two people sitting on couch in separate worlds scrolling through phones. Try to initiate physical intimacy one night and he seems uninterested. Tells me he's tired and just wants to watch TV instead of connecting. Used to have passionate, intimate life because dates built up anticipation. Now there's no anticipation, no excitement, no desire, just going through motions. Coworker asks how my relationship is going, and I say it's fine, I guess. She raises eyebrow and says that doesn't sound fine at all, honestly. Tell her we're just in comfortable phase where we don't need performance. She says comfortable and dead aren't the same thing, you know. Asks when last time we did something fun together and I can't remember. Realize it's been months since we did anything besides sit on couch. She tells me her husband still plans date nights after 10 years married. Says they make effort to keep romance alive and not become roommates. Tell her that's nice, but we're rejecting heteronormative relationship structures. She looks at me like I'm crazy and says, maybe structure isn't the problem. Walks away shaking her head, and I feel defensive but also hollow inside. Spend rest of day thinking about how other couples maintain romance years later, while my relationship is dying after only 1.5 years together. See him liking photos of his female coworker on social media looking happy. She posts about fun things. She does fancy dinners and concerts and activities. Notice he comments on her posts about how fun things look and asking about them. Feel jealous that he's engaging with her posts but barely talks to me. Check her profile and see she has boyfriend who clearly plans dates for her. Photos of them at nice restaurants, on hikes, at concerts looking happy together. Realize she has the relationship I used to have before I ruined it. Boyfriend seems more interested in her life than our boring routine existence. Confront him about liking her photos. And he says, we're just friends. Relax. Tell him it seems like he's more interested in her than me lately. He says, well, she does interesting things, and we just sit on couch. Asks what I expect him to be interested in when we do nothing ever. Tells me he's not interested in her, romantically just envious of her life. Says her boyfriend takes her places and does things while we just exist. Realize my boyfriend wants to be like her boyfriend, but I won't let him. Suggest we should start doing more interesting things together like before. He says, I thought you didn't want to do heteronormative date activities. Remind him that I just meant we shouldn't be performative about it. He says, what's the difference between date and just doing something together? Realize I don't have good answer because there really isn't a difference. Tell him we can do nice things without calling them dates or making them special, he says. But the special part was what made them worth planning and doing. Says if we're just casually hanging out, then why put in effort at all? Tells me effort itself is what made things dates, and I rejected that. Understand now that I rejected the effort and left nothing in its place. He says planning dates was how he showed love, and I called it problematic. Now he doesn't know how to show love. In way I'll accept without criticism. Sits there waiting for me to respond, but I have nothing to say. Realize I painted myself into corner with my ideology about dating. Start noticing other couples everywhere doing the things we used to do. See them at restaurants dressed up smiling and engaged with each other. Watch them at movies holding hands and sharing popcorn, enjoying time together. Notice them at parks on walks talking and laughing and being present. Everywhere I look, I see couples making effort and being romantic, while my relationship is dying because I rejected all of that. Feel jealous and bitter watching other women get treated special by boyfriends. They didn't reject date nights as heteronormative, they just enjoyed them. They get flowers and surprises and effort while I get nothing. But I have no one to blame except myself for this situation. Post online about how date night culture is oppressive to women. Get few likes from other feminists, but mostly people ignore it. Realize I'm just bitter that I don't have what other couples have. Trying to rationalize my choices by calling their happiness problematic. 6 months of boring routine, and I'm desperately missing the romance gone. Miss getting dressed up and feeling pretty for planned dates together. Miss feeling valued and special when he made reservations and surprises. Miss the excitement of not knowing what he planned, but trusting it'd be good. Miss feeling like he was trying to make me happy and impress me. Now, he doesn't try to do anything, and our relationship is dying slowly. Bring it up and say, I think we should start planning dates again. He says I thought dates were heteronormative performances of patriarchy, though. Tells me he's confused about what I actually want from him anymore. Say I want effort and romance and special time together like we used to have. He looks at me for a long moment, then asks if I'm serious right now. Reminds me I spent months telling him all that stuff was problematic. Says he can't just flip switch and go back to being romantic. Tells me he unlearned the behavior. I told him was wrong repeatedly. He says, okay, I'll plan something nice for this weekend as test. Feel excited that he's finally going to try again like the old days. Spend all week thinking about it, wondering what he'll plan for us. Saturday comes, and he says ready to go, and we get in car. Asks where I want to eat, and I realize he didn't actually plan anything. Tell him I thought he was planning something, and he says, I did plan. Says I planned that we'd go out and you'd decide where, since you know what you want. Feel disappointed because this isn't planning. This is just going out randomly. Tell him this isn't the same as when he used to make reservations and surprises. He says, well, I don't know what's allowed anymore, so you need to tell me. Tells me he doesn't trust himself to plan right thing without getting criticized. Says it's safer to let me decide than to do it wrong and start fight. Realize he's too afraid of doing wrong thing to try doing anything anymore. His confidence in planning and romance is completely destroyed by my criticism. End up at mediocre chain restaurant because I had to pick on spot. Sit there in silence eating average food and boring atmosphere with no ambiance. Compare this to the nice places he used to take me to before. He used to research restaurants and read reviews and pick perfect spots. Would find places that match my tastes and interests and preferences. Now I'm choosing randomly and we end up somewhere nobody would choose. Finish dinner and go home, nothing memorable or special about entire night. He asks if I had good time, and I say it was fine, I guess. He says good, and goes back to his phone like mission accomplished. Realize he's going through motions now, not actually trying to create anything. The spark is gone because I killed it by calling it heteronormative performance. Watch him scroll through phone while sitting next to me, feeling completely alone. We used to talk for hours after dates about everything and nothing. Now we have nothing to say to each other, just exist in same space. Sister calls and asks about my relationship. Says I seem unhappy lately. Tell her everything is fine, we're just in comfortable routine phase. She says comfortable or complacent. There's a difference, you know. Asks when last time boyfriend did something romantic for me. Have to think hard and realize it's been over 6 months now. She tells me her husband still brings her flowers randomly after 15 years. Says keeping romance alive takes effort from both people constantly. Tell her we're rejecting traditional relationship performances. It's different. She's quiet, then says, sounds like you're rejecting the relationship entirely. Asks if I'm happy, and I can't answer because I'm honestly not. Tells me maybe I should figure out what I actually want before it's too late. Hang up feeling defensive, but her words stick with me for days. Realize everyone around me is questioning my relationship choices now. They see what I refuse to admit that I'm destroying something good, year into relationship, and we basically have no relationship anymore, really. Just two people who live separately and occasionally hang out doing nothing. Friends stop inviting us to couples things because we bring the mood down. They're all having fun and being romantic while we sit there like strangers. His coworker keeps posting photos of dates her boyfriend plans for her. Notice my boyfriend likes every single one of her posts and comments. See him smile at his phone when she posts something new. Never see him smile at me like that anymore when we're together. Ask him if he wishes he was with someone like her instead of me. He's quiet for a long time, then says honestly, I don't know anymore. Tells me he liked planning dates and making things special for his girlfriend. Says that was his way of showing love, and I told him it was problematic. Now, he doesn't know how to show love, in a way I'll accept without criticism. Admits he's been feeling disconnected and doesn't see point of relationship anymore. Says he's staying out of habit not because he's happy or fulfilled here. Tells me he feels like he's failing at being boyfriend, but doesn't know how to fix. Panic and realize I'm about to lose him over this date night issue. Tell him I was wrong about dates being heteronormative. We should do them. He says you spent 6 months convincing me they were problematic performance. Tells me he unlearned the behavior and now can't just turn it back on. Says the part of him that wanted to plan and impress is dead now. Killed by repeated rejection and criticism every time he tried before. Tells me he doesn't have energy to try again just to be told it's wrong. Says he's tired of walking on eggshells trying to figure out what I want. Asks if I even know what I want, or if I just know what I don't want. Sit there realizing I killed his desire to try by rejecting all his efforts. Try to apologize and say, I'll appreciate his efforts now. I promise. He says he doesn't believe me because I already showed him who I am. Tells me he's not going to open himself up to rejection and criticism again. Says he's done trying to be romantic boyfriend I clearly don't want. Spend next few weeks trying to show him I've changed my mind. Suggest restaurants and activities, and try to plan things for us. But it feels forced and awkward because he's completely checked out emotionally. He goes through motions, but there's no enthusiasm or joy in anything. Can tell he's just waiting for me to criticize him so he can say, "I told you so." Realize the damage is done, and I can't undo 6 months of killing his efforts. He's built walls to protect himself from my rejection, and they're not coming down. Watch him become more distant every day, pulling further away from me. Our conversations are surface level and polite, but there's no depth anymore. Intimacy is non-existent because he's not emotionally available to me at all. Feel like I'm losing him in slow motion, watching him slip away daily. But I created this situation by rejecting everything he tried to do. 2 months later, and he breaks up with me, says he can't do this anymore, tells me relationship feels like chore, not something he looks forward to, says he wants to be with someone who appreciates effort, not criticizes it, asks me what was even the point of dating if we never did anything special. Tells me I took all the romance out of relationship and left just boring routine. Says he's 27 and doesn't want to spend his 20s on couch doing nothing. Wants to take someone on dates and plan things and feel excited about them. But I made that impossible by calling everything heteronormative problematic behavior. Says he tried to be the partner I wanted, but I didn't actually want a partner. I wanted someone to exist next to me while I maintained my ideological purity. Tells me relationships require compromise, and I refuse to compromise on anything. Watches me cry and says he's sorry, but he's already checked out emotionally. Says he's been mourning the relationship for months, already mentally prepared. Leaves, and I'm alone with my ideology that destroyed my relationship completely. Sit in apartment we used to share time in and realize how empty everything feels. Try to post online about how he couldn't handle my feminist boundaries. Looking for validation that I was right and he was wrong for leaving, but can't bring myself to do it because I know the truth deep down. I wasn't setting healthy boundaries. I was rejecting everything that made relationships special. Used feminism as excuse to push away someone who actually cared about me. Told him his love language was problematic until he stopped speaking it entirely. Realized I destroyed something good because I was more committed to ideology than to him. Sit alone scrolling through old photos of us on dates looking happy together. Delete them because they hurt too much to see what I had and threw away. Month after breakup, see him on social media with new girl already moved on. They're at nice restaurant dressed up, smiling, looking happy together. Caption says something about best date night with favorite person, clear message. Comments full of people saying they're cute couple, and he responds with hearts. Feel sick seeing him doing all the things I told him were problematic. Realize he didn't actually think dates were wrong. He just respected my boundaries. New girl gets the boyfriend who plans and tries while I got the one I trained to stop. She's getting flowers and surprises and effort while I'm alone scrolling phone. Told him date nights were heteronormative now. He's having them with someone else. Still can't admit I was wrong, even as I watch him be happy without me. See him post about planning surprise weekend trip for her for their 1-month anniversary. Remember, he used to do that for me, before I called it performative patriarchy. Watch him be the boyfriend I rejected while she appreciates everything I criticized. Friends tell me they ran into him and new girlfriend at restaurant looking happy. Say he seems like different person, more engaged and enthusiastic about life. They're doing all the couple things we used to do before I ruined it. She appreciates his effort and he's thriving with someone who values him. Meanwhile, I'm alone with my principles that cost me the relationship I wanted. Still posting online about heteronormative dating culture being oppressive to women. But my heart isn't in it anymore because I know I was wrong. Watch other couples around me having date nights and being happy together. Realize they're not oppressed. They're just enjoying romance and connection. I'm the one who's alone because I rejected what they embrace. Told myself I was evolved and enlightened, but really I was just scared. Scared of being vulnerable and accepting love in traditional ways. Easier to call it problematic than to admit I wanted the romance. Now I'm 26 and single and watching my ex be happy with someone who gets it.